The state calls Alyssa Alhadeff, please. Mr. Alhadeff is here as well, Your Honor.
Okay, sir and ma'am, would you both please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Okay, thank you. You can go ahead and be seated. And before you begin speaking, if you could please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Bori Alhadeff, Alhadeff.
I'm going to start with Mrs. Alhadeff first.
Okay.
Mrs. Alhadeff, are you the mother of Alyssa Alhadeff?
Yes.
I'm going to show you that's a photo that's been marked State's Exhibit 33. Can you identify this, please?
That's my daughter, Alyssa Alhadeff.
Would you please show it to the jury? Thank you. Mrs. Alhadeff, did you prepare a statement to be read to the jury today?
Yes.
Will you please read it for us?
The Oxford Dictionary defines grief as deep sorrow, especially that caused by someone's death. I don't believe the word grief adequately describes what I have felt since Alyssa was shot and killed almost 4 years ago. How can I possibly measure the impact felt by the loss of Alyssa? It's as if I have all the love in the world to give and no one to give it to. The real measure of damage done certainly cannot be expressed or calculated in words, as this kind of pain and emptiness will most certainly last forever. It is the most devastating event when a parent outlives his or her own child. There isn't even a word for it in the English language, as indescribable and unable to be named. Alyssa Miriam Alhadeff was my first child and my only daughter, my best friend and love of my life. She was the heartbeat of our family. She loved soccer and riding the waves of Long Beach Island, New Jersey every summer. Alyssa always kept us on our toes, always. She was an incredible big sister to Robbie and Kobe, and negotiator extraordinaire during families' discussions. As the captain of her soccer team, she was a source of support, protection, and motivation for her friends, both on and off the field. Alyssa had no idea how amazing she was. In fact, her humility was one of her most attractive qualities. I think about her every day, and I wish she was there, wish she was here with us. I look around our home and see photo albums that will never be filled with the mementos or memories of Alyssa after the age of 14. I see framed pictures with only photos of Alyssa at the very beginning of her teenage years. I'm left with a feeling of emptiness I still cannot accept. Our scrapbooks will never hold pictures or memories of Alyssa's high school or college graduations, her wedding, her babies, and on and on and on. She wasn't given time here with us to continue to write her story. Her life was cut tragically short and will never be the same. Alyssa's death has forever changed the course of my life and how I lead it. There's a fire inside me now, pushes me forward every day. Losing Alyssa was damaging not only to our family, but to our community as well. Such tragedy and loss is far-reaching and will be remembered forever. As time passes and I continually think about what could have been for Alyssa, the pain does not subside and the grief does not lessen. I surely would have traded places with her that day if I could have. But the life I now lead is in honor of my Alyssa Miriam Alhadeff, our angel who will always be remembered and never forgotten.
Thank you. Dr. Alhadeff. You've prepared a statement for us today. Would you please share it with the jury?
I've longed for the day that I would get to speak at this hearing. I wanted to tell this jury what happened to my family and this community. I wanted to tell you what happened to my Alyssa. On February 14th, 2018, my 14-year-old daughter was right where she was supposed to be, in her high school English class. 4 years later, she's supposed to have been in her second year of college. Soon she'd go on to be a professional soccer player. She'd get her law degree and maybe become one of the most successful business negotiation lawyers the world would see. She was supposed to get married, and I was going to have my father-daughter dance. She would have had a beautiful family, 4 kids, live in a gorgeous house, a beach house on the side. All those plans came to an end with Alyssa's murder. Alyssa's murder impacted so many people in so many ways. After Alyssa's death, my father was never the same. He passed away a year later. My elderly mother, Alyssa, lost her granddaughter. My elderly mother, she lost her granddaughter and struggles to find happiness in her life. Then there's my father-in-law, who always said Alyssa could do no wrong. They had a very special bond, one that you love to see between grandparents and grandchildren. But this was broken only by Alyssa's murder. Anytime you start talking about Alyssa, the guy that typically makes all the jokes gets very upset and has to change the subject. My mother-in-law, she also has a special bond with Alyssa. Not a day goes by that she doesn't get emotional and go to tears when talking about Alyssa. Now she's dedicated her life to honoring Alyssa's memory. She goes and decorates Alyssa's gravesite, spends time trying to honor her at the beach house, and always tries to get involved in the foundation we created in honor of Alyssa. Alyssa was the captain of her soccer team and the center of all her friends. She lifted them up. She helped them study. She was the shoulder to cry on, and she was the ear to listen. No matter what her friends needed, she was there for them. Most of all, she had this infectious laugh that now I only get to watch on TikTok videos. Alyssa's friends have all suffered in so many ways. Many of them still go to counseling. One in particular struggles to move forward in her life and it pains me to see the sorrow on her face each time I see her. Then there are Alyssa's brothers. One was too young to comprehend, but asked to go to the cemetery to see his sister from time to time. This is not normal. For the older one, I feel like Alyssa was his best friend. He looked up to her in so many ways. The night of the tragedy, he stayed up the whole night, calling me every hour, asking me if we had found her yet. And I didn't have the heart to tell him on the phone that his sister was murdered. So I had to wait till we got home and had to share this tragic news to him. It broke my heart having to say this to him. About a year or so later, he asked if he could switch rooms so he could be closer to her. He holds back his sadness and anger with losing his sister, but recently at the gravesite, he gave a speech and just came to tears. This is not normal for young boys growing up. They should not know of such sorrow, such loss and tragedy. My wife, the mother of our children, lost her firstborn daughter. She gives talks about how it was like someone ripping out her heart and stabbing it. She fights every single day to keep Alyssa's name alive, whether it's with our foundation, with the school board, with the girls' soccer club. She wears bracelets with Alyssa's name on it. She occasionally sprays Alyssa's perfume just to try and smell her. She even sleeps with Alyssa's blankets. 4 years later, she continues to grieve like it was yesterday. And while her life was busy then, running for the kids, she stays busy now, just so she doesn't stop and cry. Then there was me, my firstborn daughter, my shining star, Daddy's girl, was taken from me. I get to watch my friends, my neighbors, colleagues, spending time enjoying their daughters, enjoying all the normal milestones, taking in the joys, and I can only watch videos or go to the cemetery to see my daughter. It was 4 years ago to everyone, but to me it was yesterday. Alyssa will always be 14, and I will always be at the point in life with her. All I know is a piece of my heart was not just cut out, but it was ripped out of my damn chest. For 4 years, I've watched so many struggle, while the only option I've had is to keep it together for my family. And inside, I burned like a damn inferno. It took me so long to be able to feel empathy again, and this prevented me from doing what I'm good at, which is caring for patients. Unfortunately, I have to live my life with anger now and make it fuel my existence. Like my wife, I try and stay busy so I don't break down. While the world gets to move on with their lives, we don't have that luxury. Missing our daughter every single day. No parent is supposed to have this grief. Without our daughter Alyssa, our lives have been changed forever.
Thank you, Dr. Alhadeff. The state is next going to call Teresa Robinovitz.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You can be seated, and when you're seated, please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Just be seated. It's okay.
My name is Teresa Robinovitz, Robinovitz. As Alyssa would say, I'm Grammys.
Good morning, Mrs. Rabinovitz.
Good morning.
Are you the grandmother of Alyssa Alhadeff?
Yes, I am.
And have you prepared a statement to give to the court today?
Yes, I have.
Could you please read it for us?
Yes. Our family tree of life has been broken with the loss of my granddaughter, Alyssa Alhadeff, in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting, February 14, 2018. Living after the death of a child is beyond tears. It is a daily battle to survive the hardships rendered from her tragic death. The first time I walked back into Alyssa's home, I thought to myself, the photos on the walls will never change because she ceased to exist. There will never be another family birthday celebration for her. While sitting at their kitchen table, I can still visualize Alyssa bouncing down the steps and saying, "What's there to eat? I'm hungry." I'd immediately jump into action to prepare whatever she wanted. She usually likes spaghetti. Reliving those memories bring me back pain. Alyssa's death shattered the hearts of the entire family and friends, near and far. Alyssa was loved for the 14-year-old teenager that she was full of energy, enthusiastic with a contagious smile that brought sunshine to all who knew and met her. It causes me pain to know that forever lost are the proms, the parties, going to college, a career, never to marry, never to have children, never to share with me more memories of her life. Alyssa's absence for holiday celebrations only leaves a memory in the seat she always sat in. The sunshine of our family has dimmed, and my imagination is just thinking of Alyssa as a bright star on a clear night. Alyssa was my daughter's only daughter. Alyssa was special and unique. Her two brothers, Robbie and Kobe, have experienced the loss of their only sister, who they looked up to, especially as a role model in the sport of soccer. Alyssa followed in her mother's footsteps, playing soccer beginning at the age of 3 years old. She held the position as attacking midfielder, wearing the number 8 proudly. She was captain of her soccer team, taking additional responsibilities, shouting out plays to her teammates. In the soccer game the night before her death, she was seen on the field jumping over an opponent twice her size. She's as short as I am. And she headed the ball to move the ball towards the goal. My daughter shared with me afterwards that after that game, she told Alyssa she played the best game of her life. Alyssa's response was, "I know, Mom." I believe this was a memorable gift that she left for all who saw her play that Tuesday night, February 13, 2018. Alyssa had respect for her coaches, teammates, and always gave them constructive, positive feedback on and off the field. My beautiful, talented granddaughter had an extremely bright future for possibly law school. Her brothers were always grateful that Alyssa persuaded her parents to get extra TV channels. Outside of school, Alyssa did community service in local homeless shelters. At night, she would read New York Times best-selling books, and we would have to tell her to shut the lights off and go to bed. As a matter of fact, currently a book she wrote when she was in 3rd grade about her love for horses, I'm in the process of trying to publish that for her. Saturday before her death, she participated in a good friend's concierge's 15th birthday celebration. I watched a video of her dancing in formal attire, and I told her the next day how eloquent and beautiful she looked. I will always remember her smelling like Victoria's Secret Pink Star Mist, which I know her mom sprays on herself all the time. Alyssa's death has impacted us all. Unfortunately, as a result of Alyssa's death, I myself have seen psychiatrists and weekly psychologists. I take prescribed medication for depression and anxiety. I have outbursts of tears at any time. Sleepless nights and anger, which has replaced the pure joy of living each day. Each night, I too go to bed and wrap myself with an extra blanket that I would once cover Alyssa with. I do this to have a sense of feeling closeness to her in a fictitious way. Words alone cannot express the pain and anguish our family and friends have endured since the murders. I cannot even drive down the streets in Parkland without it bringing me back memories of Alyssa driving her to various places I used to go. The Marriott Hotel, where we were told she was definitely one of the victims, the high school where she was murdered, are just a few examples that cause me pain every day when I drive down the streets in Parkland. The effect on others is unimaginable, both in the family and with close friends. In the fall of 2018, her older brother went to a private school due to a feeling of being uncomfortable being at MSD, where his sister was murdered. This became an unexpected financial cost. The laughters, the hugs, the sense of security, and the opportunity to say, "I love you," are forever gone. The celebration of love on the national holiday of Valentine's Day has only brought me back sorrow and memories of that tragic day on February 14, 2018, as well as when we gather at the Star of David Cemetery with prayers that Alyssa is resting in heaven.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabinovitz.